The peace of an affluent Durham, North Carolina suburb was shattered on a cold December morning. The date was December 9, 2001, and inside a grand brick and wood paneled home, a horror had unfolded. Kathleen Peterson, a successful Nortel Networks executive, lay dead at the bottom of the staircase. Her husband, Michael Peterson, a local novelist and aspiring politician, stood trembling, claiming she had fallen after a night of drinking. But the scene, the extensive blood spatter, the nature of her injuries, and the lack of a plausible explanation, suggested something far more sinister. The investigation was about to unravel a web of secrets, past tragedies, and a family fractured by suspicion. The initial chaos of paramedics and police slowly gave way to a chilling stillness. Detective Mike Kincaid, a lead investigator, knelt at the base of the staircase. The scene was gruesome. Kathleen was surrounded by a horrifying pool of blood. Michael was distraught, telling police she had consumed alcohol and taken Valium. He was in shock, perhaps, or a brilliant actor. The detective had seen both. The house, a beacon of prosperity and good taste, now felt like a tomb. Forensics teams swarmed, their quiet movements in stark contrast to the violence that had just occurred. The initial assessment was grim. The blood spatter patterns didn't fit a simple fall. There were too many deep lacerations on Kathleen's scalp, too much blood, and curiously, no significant head trauma consistent with a fall down a long flight of stairs. It looked like a beating. The district attorney, Frida Black, known for her sharp and relentless prosecution, arrived on the scene. Her cold, analytical gaze swept over Michael Peterson, who was being questioned by another officer. Frida knew this wouldn't be an easy case. Michael was articulate, well-connected, and outwardly devastated. As the investigation deepened, cracks began to show in Michael Peterson's carefully constructed world. Investigators unearthed financial troubles, a common motive, though rarely so brutal. Then, a shocking revelation emerged from his past. A close family friend, Elizabeth Ratliff, had also died years earlier in Germany, where Michael had lived. Her death? A fall down a staircase. The similarities were uncanny, chilling. Was this a horrific coincidence, or a macabre pattern? The defense team, led by the formidable David Rudolph, scoffed at the coincidence theory, painting it as a desperate attempt by the prosecution to find a narrative where none existed. They argued that Kathleen's injuries were consistent with a violent fall, perhaps exacerbated by alcohol and medication, and that the sheer volume of blood was due to scalp lacerations, which bleed profusely. The trial became a spectacle. Michael Peterson maintained his innocence, his voice wavering with what appeared to be genuine grief. His children and Kathleen's daughters stood by him, a united front against the storm of accusations. Yet, doubt lingered. The prosecution presented vivid, disturbing visual evidence of the crime scene, detailing every drop of blood and every laceration. The defense vehemently dismissed the owl theory, a bizarre yet compelling alternative that gained some attention during the legal process. Proposed by Durham attorney Lawrence Pollard, a neighbor of the Petersons, the theory suggests that an owl attacked Kathleen outside the home, causing deep lacerations on her scalp. After being struck, she ran inside, dazed and bleeding, before collapsing at the bottom of the stairs. The jury wrestled with the evidence. Was he a loving husband or a cold-blooded killer? Was it a tragic accident or a meticulously planned murder? The pressure was immense. Every piece of testimony, every expert witness, and every photograph was dissected and weighed. The air in the courtroom was thick with anticipation. The world watched, gripped by a true crime saga that defied easy answers. The courtroom held its breath as the jury returned, their faces unreadable. The verdict came swiftly, cutting through the silence like a knife. Guilty. Michael Peterson was convicted of Kathleen's murder and sentenced to life in prison without parole. The family, once a united front, was now irrevocably broken. Some believed wholeheartedly in his guilt, others remained steadfast in his innocence. Life behind bars began for Michael Peterson, but the story of the staircase was far from over. Years later, a new twist emerged. Dwayne Deaver, a key blood spatter analyst for the prosecution, was found to have given misleading testimony in multiple cases, leading to his dismissal from the State Bureau of Investigation. This revelation cast a long shadow over Peterson's conviction. With the integrity of crucial evidence now compromised, Michael Peterson was granted a new trial in 2011. He was released on bail, thrust back into the glare of public scrutiny. The legal battles continued, a grueling dance of motions and appeals. The owl theory, once dismissed as outlandish, gained traction in some circles, with proponents pointing to microscopic owl feathers and a tree twig found in her hair, alongside puncture wounds consistent with an owl's talons. In 2017, after years of legal limbo, Michael Peterson entered an Alford plea. This unique legal maneuver allowed him to maintain his innocence while acknowledging that the prosecution had enough evidence to secure a conviction. It was a strategic move, a way to end the agonizing legal battle without admitting guilt. The plea resulted in a reduced charge of voluntary manslaughter, and since he had already served more time than the new sentence, Peterson was a free man. The Peterson case remains one of the most perplexing and debated true crime sagas. Was it a tragic accident, a brutal murder, or a bizarre attack by a predatory bird? The staircase house still stands in Durham, a silent testament to the night Kathleen Peterson died. For some, justice was served, even if imperfectly. For others, profound questions linger, ensuring that the mystery of that fateful December night continues to haunt and fascinate.